Hello and welcome to our new series of minisodes with author and social media strategist Zoe Lea. It's great to have you with us, Zoe. Would you like to start by introducing yourself to our listeners and watchers?
Yes, of course. Thank you, Nikki. And it's lovely to be here. So my name's Zoe Lea and I am the author of two psychological thrillers, The Secretary and If He Wakes. And I'm also a social media strategist, particularly for authors. So I help authors and writers sell their books via social media.
Oh, that's brilliant. But yes, each mini-sode will be around 10 minutes long. And we'll focus on all the do's and don'ts of social media and how to grow followers and sell books. So without further ado, let's get started. Welcome to Minisode 3. And this one we all want to know is how to sell books on social media. But it's not quite as simple as posting a photo of your book with a link to buy, is it, Zoe? So what are the key points for selling books on social media?
Okay, so the first thing I'm going to talk about is so obvious, but I see so many author accounts that don't do this. Just make it easy to buy your book.
So, yeah, I'm already failing.
In your bio, like go to like your Instagram bio or your Twitter bio, whatever platform you're on, put the title of your book in there. Put when it's out, and if you've got the clickable link, like if you've got like on Twitter, you can put your website and everything. Make that, if your book is on sale and it's in its first flushes of sale or pre-order, or there's something that you're pushing, make that link straight to where you buy your book. So I see a lot of authors that will go like, here's a link to my website, and then from my website they've got all my books there so they can pick from the books. I think the research shows that the more clicks that you've got to go to actually get to the end product, it really puts people off. So make it easy to buy your book. Also make it easy for the viewer or the watcher to know what your book will offer them. So what genre is it in? What's the hook? What's the main thing about it? You've only got a very, very small space there, but it's such good real estate. Is because if somebody's interested in a post that you've made, you think about your own habits, you go to their bio and you look at it, and if it just says something along the lines of author of thrillers, my book is out now, what book? Where did I get it from? And a lot of people forget to do that. And I would also suggest reviewing that on a monthly basis. So don't just do one bio and then leave it. Review it and think, like we were talking before about planning your content schedule. What am I working on this week, this month, this week? Where do I want them to go? So I would say that is the key thing. The other thing that we've talked about as well is not just doing a load of posts that are just hard sells. Nobody wants to, we've all seen them, the books that are just like, here's my book cover, out now. I would say that would generate zero sales. So it's got to be a combination of everything that we've discussed. It's got to be about building a community, building that trust, like, and know factor.
Yes, very good advice. Yes. Yes, I think we have all seen those posts where it is someone just saying day after day, buy my book, buy my book, buy my book. Yeah. The link, and you just click off, and sometimes you end up muting it as well because it just gets really irritating.
And you just get blind to them. You don't even see them now. It's
scroll through. Yes. And I see a lot of authors talking about using Facebook advertising, and it does seem like a way to kind of grow your audience, or your community, should I say, Zoe. And do you think that authors should pay to advertise books on any kind of social media platform, actually, but like Facebook, if they can? Is that a good idea?
I think it really depends on where you are in your writing career and what you want for the end of, what you want the ads to do. Because you can do a lot of ads, and they're quite specialist, and they can be a bit of a waste of money if you're not sure what you're doing and if they're not at the right time. It also depends if you've got a publicity department working with you, or whether you're an indie author and you've got no budget. So I think it's a hard one to answer. Like, there's no right or wrong answer. I think it's dependent on every author and where they're up to and what budget they've got.
I think just going on about budget, I think I have done a few Facebook ads, and sometimes I'm like, well, I'm going to set a budget of £20 because I'm not an indie author, and my book sales, obviously I only get a small percentage of that. I don't want to spend a load of money on it. But then I kind of thought £20 was good, but actually I spoke to an indie author a couple of months ago who was like, yeah, I spent £7,000 on Facebook ads, and then I got double that back. I was like, oh my God, you invested £7,000, and it just blew my mind, actually. It makes me think, I mean, I'm not going to bother with my 20 quid once anymore.
Yes. And I think that's what, I guess, one of the things that if you're a trad kind of published author, as you say, like, you know, that is one of the things that you've got hopefully a publicity department kind of behind you working for you. So how much you can achieve, as you say, Lauren, with a 20 quid ad, compared to what they can do, you know, I don't know. So
it's also, from what I know, I'm not an ad specialist at all, but it is quite a tricky, you know, I've done a few ads, but I think it takes a lot of time to research, especially if you put in, like, you know, quite a quantity, you know, a good size of a chunk of change in there. You really need to do your research. So
yeah. And I think we're going to talk about analytics properly in another mini-sode, but I think you have to be quite on it, sort of see what is working and what's not, and tweaking adverts and stuff. And again, it's just like, I don't want to spend my time doing this. I want to just be writing. So again, balance is key. But you always have such great content, Zoe, across all your socials, and the word repurpose comes up a lot with you. So what tips would you give for authors wanting to sell books on social media? And I'm sure repurpose is going to come up here. So if you could just explain what that is as well to those who aren't in the know.
Okay, so repurposing just means reusing the content that you've made. So they're all like, you know, so if you think of platforms, they're all like hungry beasts that need feeding day after day after day. And if you think, oh my gosh, I've got to continually be making fresh content over and over and over again, it can get, well, it can lead to burnout. And also you'll just do that thing where you go, I'm not doing social media anymore, and you'll just come away from it. But it's really easy to take, say, the video that you've done from TikTok and take off the watermark. You can just go to a website, take off the watermark, and then you can put that over on Facebook and Instagram Reels. So there you can be on 3 platforms, and you've really only been making content for 1, if that makes sense. So you can also do that with photographs as well. Like I said earlier, it depends where your readers are. And it also depends what platforms you want to do. And if you've got one of those, you know, content planners, the scheduling apps as well, because then if you've got the content, you can upload it and you can just say, right, post to Instagram this day. And then the following week, post to TikTok this day. I'll post this photograph to Facebook here. And then if my book is about, you know, the corporate world, and it's about somebody killing somebody in business, let's go for LinkedIn, because those readers, you know, might be on there. So let's post this, and let's, you know, this photograph, and let's get it on LinkedIn. So you can start to build up a strategy with just the content you've already made. And also don't think that once it's made, oh my God, everybody's going to be sick of seeing that. They're really not. We all get this feeling that everybody's watching us all the time, and they really, really not. Nobody's going to get sick of any content that you produce at all. So repurpose. Take old content, bring it forward again.
So interesting you've mentioned LinkedIn, because I don't think I've been on there since 2004.
You need an update, Lauren, an update.
Oh, I can't. What I have still got my maiden name on there, I think. What is the worst thing? What doesn't work? I know we've talked about this a little bit, but what are the key things we should all avoid doing?
Okay, so the key thing to avoid doing is, like we talked earlier, just a picture of your book's cover and on sale now. I think it's a waste of time doing it. I might be wrong, and you might get people coming in going, that really works for me, but I don't think it works for anybody, because it doesn't make me want to buy it. So if to sell your book, you really need to think about what the key themes are in your book, because what you want to do is to be connecting with the viewer and the watcher on an emotional level. You want somebody to resonate with an emotional response to your book. So if you think of it like a film, so you know when you're interested in a film and you see the title and you see the hook and you think that looks okay, the next thing you do is you go watch the trailer. And if you watch the trailer of any film, it takes all the good bits out of the film and it puts them into that trailer. And all the good bits are the bits that resonate with you emotionally. So if you look at your book and it's a thriller book and it's a suspense, you might think, well, I've only got one hook. You've not. Think of it like a film and think you will have some elements in there that maybe are romance, or you'll have some elements in there that will be a real tearjerker moment. Those are the moments, those are the moments, the bank of content that you want to use to sell your book, because you are going to put this in front of your ideal reader who is searching for your book, who is desperate to read it. And you are going to be doing them a favor by saying, I wrote this for you because I know you love these kind of hooks. And look at this. This is what will make you feel. And so as soon as they go, and you can see it on TikTok because the spicy fiction genre have got this down to a T. And you can see it by, sometimes they don't even do the hook. They just do a line of dialogue. And then you'll see in the comments that people have gone, this is me, already bought. Where can I get the next one? All the rest of it, because you're just like, connecting with them on that emotional level. So if you think of your book like that and you pick out those things that are really going to resonate with your ideal reader, focus on those moments. Don't focus on, it's 99p today. Focus on, you are going to need a box of tissues when you get to page 63. Or focus on, this is going to keep you up till 2 a.m, because that's getting the sense of curiosity and the fear of missing out. And that's what you want to make the sale.
But sadly, that's all we've got time for today. Thank you for listening to our mini-sode with social media strategist Zoe Lea. And thank you, Zoe, for sharing your expertise with us today.
Thank you so much for having me. I've loved chatting with you two always, so thank you.
Oh, it was lovely to have you, Zoe. And I should remind our listeners that Zoe is the best-selling psychological fiction author of If He Waits and Secretary, both of which available to buy right now. And Zoe is also a social media strategist. So for more information and how to see how Zoe might be able to help you, sign up for her weekly newsletter, which is full of social media tips for authors on Substack under the Author's Guide to. Or you can go and have a look at her website, which is at zoelee.com, and that's LEA.com.
And all the links are in the descriptions of this episode, no matter where you're watching or listening. But that's it for us. So it's a goodbye from Zoe.
Bye.
And it's a goodbye from us. Goodbye.
Bye.